Hi people, it's me Anja, my pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new video. So as you can tell, I'm back to square one when it comes to filming my videos until I find a better new solution with hopefully better audio. But anyway, for those who don't know, Sapphic is an umbrella term for women-loving women, which includes non-binary people. So the first book on this list is called Burn Down, Rise Up. This story is a YA horror thriller following a young Dominican Sapphic main character against the backdrop of mysterious disappearances where an urban legend is rumored to be the source of it, and it follows a young teenager who's determined to save her city at any cost. This story is absolutely so good. It's so underrated. First of all, the world building is so inventive and so immersive. Literally, this book is so good. The plot was so intriguing and so engaging. The characters were so well developed and so distinct. The friend group was so well done. And the Sapphic romance was so well developed and so well paced. This story is so good. And it's absolutely so fantastic because the writing is like so good and so immersive. Literally, this book is so underrated. And with all that said, I would highly, highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called LeClair Gets a Clue. This story is a middle-aged contemporary that follows a young bisexual main character who happens to have asthma, and she uses her true crime expertise to catch a cyberbully in her school. This story is absolutely so good, and I recently discovered that it has a sequel coming in 2023, which is absolutely so exciting because this story was so good, and it was absolutely so wholesome and so awesome. First of all, the mystery was so immersive and so intriguing. The plot was so engaging. The characters were so well developed and so distinct. I loved the main character so much because I was so emotionally connected to her as well as to the events, and I loved her friendship so much. I loved the Sapphic sexuality representation. It was literally so well done, as well as the chronic illness asthma representation. Literally, this book is so good. This author is so talented, and like I mentioned, and I'm absolutely so excited to read the sequel, which I think comes out in April of 2023 if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, this story is absolutely so good, and again, it's so underrated. So with all that said, I would highly, highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Science of Being Angry. This story is a middle-aged contemporary that follows a young Sapphic main character who tries to discover if her anger issues are genetic. This story is absolutely so fantastic and it's so well done. This author is absolutely so talented, and I'm so excited to read her next book, which I believe that she's co-authoring with AJ Sass in 2023, and it's one of my most anticipated 2023 new releases. And I think it's called Camp Quilt Bag or something like that. But anyway, The Science of Being Angry was so good, and it definitely met and exceeded my high expectations. First of all, the Sapphic representation was so lovely and so wonderful. The anger issues and the mental health conversations were so well incorporated, and I felt so authentic, and it really made me become so emotionally connected to the main character from the very beginning to the end. And I loved all of her different platonic and romantic dynamics, her family dynamics with her triplet siblings and with her two moms were literally so well done. The Sapphic romance was so well developed, and it was so cute. The plot was so intriguing and so engaging. This book is literally so good, and again, it's so underrated. So with all that said, I would highly, highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called In the Key of Us. This story is a middle-aged contemporary that follows two black Sapphic main characters as they bond at a music camp over grief, art, and love. This story is absolutely so good, and I really, really enjoyed it. First of all, the two main characters were both so well developed and so distinct, and I loved both of their character perspectives. Literally, they're both so well developed. The pacing of the story was also so good. The plot is so intriguing and so engaging, and I loved the camp setting because it was so good and so well done. The mental health conversations as well were so good, and I just really, really enjoyed every single element of this book. Literally, the Sapphic romance, the characters, the plot, the mental health conversations, the family dynamics the world building, the camp setting, everything about it was literally so well done. This book is so underrated, which I know is a recurring theme in this video and on my channel, to the point the word has probably lost its meaning. But anyway, this book is literally so good and it's so well done. So anyway, with all that said, I would highly, highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Bad Things Happen Here. This story is a YA Sapphic thriller that follows a young, black, plus-size main character in an island town with a history of unsolved deaths and murders, and the main character is desperate to uncover the mystery. This story is so fantastic, and it's absolutely so well done. I typically don't read thrillers because usually I find them to be predictable, so I don't find them to be immersive as a result, but this story was absolutely so immersive and so well done. First of all, the mystery was so well paced and it was so thrilling. The plot was so intriguing and so engaging. The Sapphic romance was so well developed and it was so lovely and it was so wonderful. The representation was so good. This book is absolutely so fantastic and it's so underrated. Literally, this book is so good and it's so well done. The plot, the family dynamics, the Sapphic romance, the friendships, the characters, the mystery, everything about it was so well incorporated and so well paced. This author is so talented and I would gladly read more from her in the future. Anyway, this story is so good, and with all that said, I would highly, highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Fight and Flight. This story is a middle grade contemporary that follows two Sapphic main characters, one of them who has panic attacks and the other one who has a chronic illness, who bond after they both experience a school shooting. This story is absolutely so fantastic and it's so well done. First of all, the disability representation felt so authentic and so well incorporated. I've read so few queer disabled books that this book felt so well done and so well paced. Second of all, the plot was so intriguing and so engaging, and the conversations surrounding school shootings and the trauma that comes after that felt so authentic and so well done. One of my favorite moments from this book is when one of the main characters gets her white privilege challenged by her best friend who's a person of color, which I think is so important because obviously white and black people are going to respond differently to guns and shootings and stuff like that, and those conversations need to happen because they are so important and so timely. This story is so well done. The Sapphic romance was so well developed and it was so lovely and it was so cute because they have such great chemistry. This story is so good and I would gladly read more from the author in the future because this book was so awesome and it was absolutely so lovely and it was so good. So anyway, all that to say, I would highly, highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Girl from the Sea. This book is a YA graphic novel that follows a young Sapphic main character who gets saved by a Selfie, and that changes her life forever. This book is absolutely so fantastic and it's so well done. For those who don't know, I've been reading more and more graphic novels lately because I've been so drawn to them, no pun intended. The illustrations in this book were so pretty and so well done, and they made the story so much more immersive than it already was. Literally, the plot was so intriguing and so engaging. The Sapphic romance was so cute, and it was so well paced. Literally, this book is so good. The characters were so well developed and so distinct, and I loved the family dynamics and the friendships and everything about it. This story is so good. I want to read the Witch Boy trilogy so bad because this book was so good and it really raised my expectations. But anyway, this story is so good, like I've mentioned multiple times, because everything about it was so awesome. Anyway, all that to say, I would highly, highly recommend it. The last book on this list, and certainly not the least, is called The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This book is an adult historical fiction romance that follows Evelyn Hugo, a Cuban bisexual woman, as she dictates her life from practically the beginning to the end. This story is so good, and I absolutely loved every single second of it. This book was by far my favorite book that I read in September, which says a lot because I read 52 books in September. But anyway, this book is so fantastic, and I absolutely loved every single second of it, like I just said. Like, the story is so emotional, and it's so well done, and it's totally worth all the hype and so much more. First of all, the Sapphic romance was so well developed and so well paced. I love Evelyn and Celia so much. I love the friendship between Evelyn and Harry so much. I even love the relationship between Evelyn and her daughter. Literally, this book is so good. The plot is so intriguing and so engaging. The Sapphic sexuality representation was so wonderful and so well done. I loved it. I loved every single second of this story. It was so good. I don't know how to explain it, but basically everything about it was so well developed and so well done. I was sobbing in the last 100 pages because it was so good. Anyway, all that to say, this book is absolutely so fantastic and so excellent, and I would highly, highly recommend it. So, in conclusion, I apologize for the background noise and the wind and everything else, but there's literally nothing I can do about it. I've tried to find newer solutions. Like, I used to film my videos briefly with voiceovers instead, but if you've watched those videos, you know that there's still background noise, so I guess that's another recurring theme in my videos that I don't know quite how to get rid of. But anyway, here we are, back to square one. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the butterfly emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video.